Okay, this is the haul from yesterday. I pretty much spent all day there, about more than an hour drive in the morning, get there by 9, and then pretty much stayed until 6 o'clock. I got out of that parking lot about 6, so back home about 7:30. Definitely a long day, but productive. So I want to show you what I got for myself and for others. Okay, so this is the thing that I wanted for myself, and that is this second gen engine cover from the floor up. The cover was too far gone. I didn't want to beat that out. I've got other covers, so I just wanted to make sure that I cut really wide. I didn't want to spend the time to drill out those spot welds. I wanted to take my time. I might want to include part of that floor. I also grabbed that battery compartment, mostly for the metal on the top and the opening. You can see how the frame is not really that thick, but that's what we get. Anyway, instead of cutting it really close to the doghouse, I just went ahead and just cut the frame and went all the way around it. This battery box just bolts up there on some spots and then in the back, but this is an integral part of it. So I thought the best thing was just to go ahead and cut the frame. Spring or the shackles is the easy spot to cut. You don't try to cut through the spring. You'd be there all day. You'd need a torch, and they don't like those. And then this was a little bit of a cut, the cross member, but that was an easy way to get that engine out of the way. It would have been nicer if I would have cut this a little bit closer and tried to avoid this double metal that they have at this point. But anyway, that didn't happen. Notice this is starting to separate here. That's from the drive where it was just rocking back and forth. And I did wipe out a good section of the floor and had to leave it behind because I wanted to get that tunnel as much as possible. And so there was that. And then I cut on the other side of the frame for the driver's side. Give you a slow look. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to. All right, so cut just on the other side of the frame there on that side, and that was pretty close to the distance between the wheel well. Anyway, if you notice, for future reference, that frame rides right in the middle of that, pretty much right in the middle of that body floor line, in case you're cutting. There was some damage to this. They hit that cover pretty hard and ripped off the hinge parts and then bent this a little bit, but it's nothing that I can't try to pound out of there or have somebody pound out of there. So you can see the original color, well protected by the little bit of undercoating or whatever they have. And then of course the other piece that I just could not leave there is that front clip. I was going to remove the spring, but the problem with removing the spring is there was too little time and no shackle to cut on the front obviously. So sometimes those things can be a pain, and I was just running out of time. So plus I left part of my tools back at the Ranger, and I didn't have something to grab onto that nut after I started breaking loose that bolt. Anyway, that was that didn't turn out too bad, because they didn't charge me a whole lot extra for the front springs. And it's too bad that I didn't have a chance to remove that drag link. That kind of shows you what they do when you put them under strain. They'll bend as opposed to break, like most front end components. So it would have been nice if I'd have been able to take that nut off of the pitman arm, off the sector shaft, and then got my puller in there and removed that at the pitman arm, but that didn't happen. Anyway, that's the front clip. It was a real pain to load this, and just by chance I cut this at enough of an angle, or I mean far enough down, that it allowed me to slide this thing in with a little bit of help and make it past that doghouse. So that's the front clip. We do have a bunch of moving blankets under there, but of course we had to drag that thing in there, and the question is going to be how much, if any, did we damage that front clip. What did I say? I left that floor behind. No, the floor is right there. Shows you how tired I still am. Anyway, has nothing to do with old age and bad memory, I'm sure. So another thing that we got, even though we don't do the V8s, is these ram's horn manifolds. So these, I believe, were on there the whole time. I mean, from the factory, they were like that. They'd never been removed, is what I'm trying to say. And then I also got all of the hardware that allows you to put these spark plug wire guards and spark plug wire guides. They've got like a built-in loom on some of this. They like to route that underneath the engine. And let's see, for Jose specifically, this dipstick, which has got this nice little curve to it, and at least on the 2-barrel, it fit kind of in front of the carburetor. And what I'm hoping that we could do is with, even though he's got a 4-barrel and a custom intake manifold, that we can put that on there, and that will eliminate the problem of his dipstick tube being on the side, which is typical for trucks and passenger cars. So all that hardware is for him, and I'll probably just eBay or something these ram torn manifolds. If you notice, let me see if I can get a little closer here. Someone's gonna have to explain to me why they put these air injection tubes in, but there was never any air injection installed on this. So these ports go right to those tubes, and that's where you inject air from your air injection manifold, also known as the smog pump. So I didn't see any smog pump on this vehicle, and I don't believe there was one installed, but I also don't think that these were ever removed. And what I don't understand is why some of these were open. These were open, and then these are capped and just on the one end. I don't get it. That's on the driver's side. And of course this has the manifold setup, so you can bolt up your alternator mount for that lower position on the alternator. And then the other side has the the heat riser, which is always handy. That one's not working. We can probably work that and free that up. So these this other side didn't, well, that had it on there. So yeah, so that's kind of strange. I don't know why they wanted to block those off. Maybe they were all blocked off and then the center ones just fell off. Who knows? Anyway, those are your ram's horn manifolds as they came out in the 60s or something. Since I'm not doing the V8s anymore, I just grabbed these for Jose if he can use them, and try to do a fellow van or a solid. So that is pretty much it. So we're gonna do a product review on these batteries next.